tactic that you do have a trump card that you will play at a later point?
Jeremy, we are not talking about any trump cards here. We as a company have opened our books before the unions. We have said to them that we are technically in ICU. We need this company needs to be resuscitated. Our revenue has been growing over the last 10 years by about 1%, and our costs have been going on average, especially coal, by about 15%. If your revenue is not improving but your costs are going up, clearly you are heading for trouble.
And a lot of that is to do with mismanagement and profligacy.
Well, true. Mismanagement has been part of the issues that Eskom has been dealing with, unfortunately, for years. And people who are directly implicated in some of this wrongdoing, some of them are now facing the wrath of the law. Management has said on the record that if there's any direct link to some of these allegations, we are going to press criminal charges against them. And many of these people, by the way, have either resigned or have been fired. Others are on suspension. And we also, as a concluding point on this one, we also are trying to recover our monies from companies like Trillian and McKinsey, money which has been paid unlawfully by some of these individuals.
But the bitter pill to swallow for an Eskom technician who is working in some far-flung area, why should that person be penalized because of the mismanagement at Eskom?
100%.
And that's the point that the unions are making.
100%.
And they're right.
And they are right. I have no dispute there with them, because many people within Eskom, out of the 47,000 people, it's only a handful of people who are creating problems for Eskom. Other people, the bulk majority, over 47,000, are people who are committed and doing their job. And ideally, these people should be getting pay increases now and even bonuses. But what the company is saying is that we are currently having our bank account dry. Essentially, it's dry. We cannot make any promises now. If we do make any promises, we can pay maybe for a particular period of time. Before the end of the year, chances are we would have depleted all the resources that we have. We will be back to square one with people saying that we are unable to fulfill our obligations. So we're saying, let's sit down and put this company back into normalcy, so that next year, if things go well, we might be in a position to pay bonuses and pay increases.
But that all is hinging on that word if. I mean, there's no guarantee, is there?
Well, things are beginning to change. From July of 2017 until January this year, many of the lenders here in South Africa and abroad were unwilling to speak to Eskom because of the issues that the company was dealing with. But once we had a new board and the new management, things started to change. Right now, as I speak to you, for the 2 months of this current financial year, we started in April, we have raised 15 billion rand, something that never happened before. So clearly things are beginning to improve. There are green shoots of improvement, but we still have a long way to go. Which is why, if
you've raised 15 billion rand, and test my mathematics here, if you've raised that money, why should your staff not share in the success of those green shoots that you talk about?
Jeremy, things like bonuses and pay increases ideally should be funded through the generation of revenues, not money that you have borrowed. Otherwise, you're going to be creating a very bad precedent where you borrow money so that you can finance your capital issues, especially in terms of staff numbers and other things there.
But isn't the priority to make sure that you actually have staff?
Well, true, you need to have staff, but the starting point is to make sure that your revenue grows. That's where we are saying to unions that let's improve our efficiencies and productivity. Next year, if things go well, then we can see what we can do in terms of compensating people fairly.
Khulu Phasiwe, speaking for Eskom, thank you very much indeed.